how's it going? Good morning, good morning, good morning. This is Coach Ray with the Brownsville Royal Knights, and we're here with another show. Let me get here in the middle. We're here with another show of the Chess Puzzle Show with Coach Ray Martinez. Guys, I hope you're having an awesome morning. Sure am. And guys, today we're gonna do different things. One of the things I want to talk about, I want to take it from beginners all the way to maybe advanced, and let's see where we're at with that. I would want to say, let's see, good morning, see who's here already. All right, so they're getting up, they're getting up. So let me put my banner up. We're on the Shut Show, right? Yes, we are. So guys, here we go. So just sit back, relax, and get your cereal and all of that. Answer the questions and we're gonna take it from there, right? This is the time with Coach Ray, brought to you by, every week, every week, right? We started. I used to do this show, I don't know, months ago, I guess, and then I stopped. I've been really busy, So I'm doing lessons every single night. I mean, every single day. Yeah, so even some nights, guys. I did a lesson the other day at 10 at night. We won't mention any names, but hey, I was there. If you need me, I'm always a phone call away, a text away, that kind of deal. Yes, there. So, hey, Juan Pablo, thank you for being here. Clarissa, how's it going? Clarissa is one of my faithful followers. She goes to all my shows, so awesome, guys. Guys, I also do a show with Actitud Pasión, which, by the way, you can see this chess show on the Actitud Pasión uh, was it YouTube channel. You can see it on my profile page, and you can see it on the page of the Royal Knights, the Brownsville Royal Knights, rather. And so I do chess shows on coaching, like lifestyle coaching, success building, that kind of deal, building your dream, and that kind of deal. Those are the top issues that I do. I do talk checkmate. Yeah, checkmate is good. Yeah, and so I deal with different issues. I get invited to different shows from around the world to talk about chess and the art of thinking, guys. So I'm not only locally, but I'm all over, that kind of deal. So, guys, let's start the show. Let's start. Let me go here and let me share. Let me share a puzzle. We'll start with a puzzle. We'll take it from there. And let me go with this. Boom, boom, boom. And so this is a puzzle. Let's see. Well, I forgot what this one. All right. This is going to be expose the king, guys. So let's expose the king to to more attacks. As we were saying last week, sometimes uh uh we sacrifice to expose the king. We sacrifice to open up a line for pieces to go through. We sacrifice to gain position, and we sacrifice to win material. So in this particular puzzle, it is black to move, and black wants to attack the white king, right? And see what can we do here? What do you think? What do you guys suggest? Let me put my comments up and let's see what's going on with this. All right. So what do you guys think? It's pretty all right. So when Pablo says the knight, and definitely the knight here to e4, attacking the king and forking. Actually, it's a pretty cool fork, right? Because you're gonna get that. So that is the move. The king moves. Obviously, you're gonna capture the rook. The pawn's gonna capture back, and you even gain a pawn. And now this pawn becomes a pass pawn. A pass pawn is a pawn that cannot be blocked by any pawns, or rather, blocked by any pawns in front of it, or captured by any pawns later on in the game. Any pawns that might be in that can possibly attack that line. There's none. See, there's no pawns that can capture this particular pawn. There's no pawns that can block it. So that's considered a pass pawn. Hey, Daniel, good morning. You're back here. And yeah, Daniel got the right answer as well. All right, so cool. Let's do a little bit of endgame here. So black is now has two rooks against two knights and a bishop. However, he has a pass pawn that can possibly come that can promote, and he's got a 2 against 1. Guys, in the end game, here's a little bit of advance here. In the end game, if you have two pawns together against one pawn, Guys, one of them's going to give itself up, the other guy's going to capture, and the other pawn's going to capture at some point. I'm not in this position, and that it will become a pass pawn and keep going. So when you play the end game, make sure that you have very cool pawn structure. Hey, Rachel, how's it going? Hope everybody's doing fine. Hey, if you guys want some delicious, what's it called? Little breads, man, from I think they're Portuguese breads or Brazilian breads, I forget. But Rachel has some. Send me a message, or you can give her. Rachel, why don't you make a comment, and then people can click on your name, and they can go right to your link. All right. So guys, they're delicious. I had them. She brought me some to the library once upon a time. Once upon a time, and so man, I love them. So I need to get some. I need to get some, Rachel. All right. So anyway, so let's go with the end game. So what can we do here? We're controlling this. We know we have a kind of like a sandwich, right? We wish we could go there, but the knight's in the way. So what can we do? What can we do in this position? What do you guys suggest? White, black to move. What do you guys? Oh no, it's white to move. White to move, right? So let's say white does. I don't know. We obviously can't move the knight. He can move this one, but he's got nowhere to go, right? He's got that knight is totally lost. This knight's totally lost. So let's say he moves this bishop here. Let's say he moves the bishop there. Okay, let's follow through. What is black's best move here? All right, what is black's best move? What do you guys think? Black's best move. What would it be? Come on, get your thinking caps on, and let's kind of play a game here. Let's see who else is here. Let's see, we are live on the Actitud and Pasión YouTube channel. We're live on my profile page, and we got 2 people on my Brownsville Royal Knight page. Hey, I'm glad you guys are here. Let me see who's over here. We don't need this one there, but I'll keep it on. And let's see. I don't see it live on the Brownsville Royal Knight page, or is it? Let me check really quick. Yeah, it is. I just had forgotten to click on it. All right, so here we go. All right, boop. There we go. And so we are live. And let me open up this guy. Oh, there we go. All right, now I'll be able to see the comments in there. So Daniel says knight to d6. All right, let's see. Knight to d6. Oh my goodness. Oh, knight to d6. All right, I like it. I like that move. That would be a good one. Another Daniel could be just attack the bishop, right? Bishop will attack. He goes here, and then I think the knight to d6 would be cool. All right. Juan Pablo, you have a move? Anybody else has a better move? Not that it's a bad move. I don't think it's a bad move. I think it's just a little slow. I mean, we could go here, but we can only capture this way. But he's got 2 defenders, right? So we got 1 attacker. If we can get the rook here, maybe that might be a good idea. So this is why I'm thinking maybe here. I don't know. Maybe here. This bishop's got to go somewhere, right? This bishop's got to go somewhere. So if the bishop attacks, we obviously have a skewer here because the bishop's going to move. Let's say the bishop moves there, right? Then, of course, we can capture one, but we don't want to yet. So we could just capture this pawn, and now we have 2 passed pawns. Does that make sense? So sometimes, guys, it's not always about playing for the checkmate. It's about making your opponent weak. So this is the best move, guys. Bishop, if bishop goes here, then you have a pin. And remember, this rook is controlling this whole file, so the king cannot get closer. So more than likely, that's the move. Yeah, let's say that's the move. If he goes here, well, now we can go with what? What can we do here? What do you think? We can't go there. So maybe we could just maybe go over this way. And we would be pretty cool, right? If he attacks, well, if we got this and he's got to go maybe there. Let's say he just goes there. And so now we can capture, and we're okay. Does that make sense? And now this guy's going to take care of this. These 2 pawns, they're going to promote. This guy might promote. And we're in good shape here, right? All right, let's do another one. Let's do another one. All right. So we're working on exposing the king, guys. We have to expose the king to better. Hey, Anel, Venezuela, ¿cómo te va? Good morning. How's it going? Anel is awesome chess life coach. She lives in the California area, guys. So get to watch her. Maria, ¿qué tal, Maria? Man, people, the life coaches are watching me doing the chess show. All right, guys. So in this particular puzzle, what do you see here? Huh? What do you see here? White black to move here, right? The knight's ready to go here for a possible checkmate. So white will win in one move. So what can we do to survive here? What do you think? What can we do? Sometimes the position looks complicated, but you gotta simplify it and go to the basic checkmate patterns. Remember, we were talking about that, Daniel. We were talking about seeing the basic checkmate patterns, and then from there create. What do you see? And then create. Does that make sense? So cool. What's the move here, guys? What do you think? All right. Super, super cool. All righty. So, oh, the check. Daniel says the check. Very cool. That is correct. The the king advances. The king's attacking the rook. What do we do here? What's the most common move here that we can create? What do you see here? Because he's got checkmate in one. He's got checkmate in one. So what can we do here? What's the most logical move to make here? We already have the two lines ready for the checkmate. This rook wants to go there for the checkmate, right? And so, oh, you said rook check, obviously. Yeah, because wherever he goes, boom, we have the checkmate. Good job. Good job, Daniel. Does that make sense? And so, yeah, boom. So, two very simple moves, which was check, controlling the squares around the king, which I always talk about. He attacks. We get another check. The rook's protected by the bishop, and we're controlling these two squares. And wherever he moves, it doesn't matter. Boom, we got checkmate because we're controlling all the squares around the king. The king cannot move to a safe square, and we have ourselves a checkmate. Does that make sense? Cool. Cool. All right. Now let me do a little bit of basics here, guys. Whenever let me go to hold on. Let me go to an analyze board, or let me go to board editor here. All right, and let me erase all the. Let me clear the board. There we go. We're clearing the board. And guys, whenever you do your first chess lesson, and those of you parents that are watching this show, or kids that are watching this show, whenever you do your first chess lesson, the first chess lesson should include the language of chess. If you go to a lesson, or if you pay for a lesson for the first lesson, and your child does not learn the the language of chess, then something's wrong there. I'll just put it out there. Something's wrong there. We don't go to China and try to speak the language that we speak because they might not understand us. We have to learn the Chinese language. If we go to Italy and we plan to live there, we have to learn the the Italian language. We go to France, hey, parlez-vous français? You gotta learn French, and so not that you have to, but it's just a lot easier for you to know. You're going to live a happier life if you know the language of the country you're visiting, right? So in chess, this is the country that you're visiting. You're visiting the world of chess. And so it is to your advantage to learn the language of chess. One, you can study and become a stronger chess player. Two, we can analyze your games, or I can analyze your games, and I can tell you what you're doing right, what you're doing wrong, and guess what? You're going to improve because you're smart. Your kids are smart. And if we're able to see what they're doing, what they're playing, then we'll be able to correct that. That's the language of chess. So guys, uh, first of all, I'm just going to talk about the language of chess, not about any pieces, but every square, guys, every square has a name, and we identify the square by the letter. Say this guy here. If we go right here, well, right under it, yeah, right under it, there's a D. So we run the D up, and then we go to the side, and there's a number, and we go across. And so this square, the name of this square is D5. Very simple. Letter, number. Wherever they touch, that's the name of the square. If we touch that square, well, that letter is on the C, right? And he's on the 6. So the name of that square is C6. I don't care. I don't care if you're 3 years old, 4 years old. You can do this. Trust me. I've done it. I've done lessons with 3 year olds and they can name the squares. I've done lessons with 4 year olds and they can name the squares. First lesson I do with all my students, they learn the language of chess. We need to talk. We need to talk. We need to start talking chess. Yesterday, I had a lesson with an awesome young lady. She's in middle school. She's a volleyball player, and again, that when I relate to my students, I have never met her. Mom heard about me. Mom brought her to me, and we started talking. And I said, "What do you like?" She says, "I like volleyball. I play volleyball." And I said, "Awesome, good. Well, chess is kind of like a sport, you know." We were talking about the frontier line. The frontier line is the line that divides the fourth and fifth rank. And I go, the frontier line is like the net in volleyball, and you don't want anything crossing. And of course, if you cross, there's penalties, right, and all of that. She goes, all right, makes sense. I said, the name of the game is controlling the center. Volleyball, you move around, boom, 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 but you want to action towards the center. And I said, all right, what else did I say? When you're attacking the king, wherever the king's at, you're attacking the king. And I said, that's kind of like when you set up the ball and you're getting ready to spike and you go in there. And she was, wow, man, this makes sense. And so I relate to the students and I relate to what they love to do. And she left that hour learning one simple opening with two different variations. She learned the names of the squares. We talked about different tactics because she was pretty smart. So even though kids on the first lesson, I don't baby them. I don't go, oh, this is the way you move the little pawn, and then let's color this little picture to represent the knight or to represent the bishop. I don't do that. These kids are smart. These kids are smart. They can have some fun, sure, but hey, you're paying me to teach, right? And so that's what we do. All right. We may do maybe stuff like this, where we go. All right. So hold on. Let's say we do this, right? Hold on. I don't know. See how I can do it here. So we draw lines. Boom. We say, okay, the rook can move here. He moves in straight lines. So the rook can move here. Guess what? Now the rook can go up, and the rook can go up, and the rook can come across, and the rook can come across. Do some exercises that will help the kids understand the piece. You put a knight in there, right? You put a knight in there. Let's say you put a knight, all right? You say, okay, basically you teach them the basic patterns, and then eventually you do stuff like this and say, okay, which pawn can the knight capture? So they get a little confused. But then again, you say, okay, 1, 2, turn. 1, right? 1, 2, turn. Boom, right? And so they're able to go, okay, okay, I'm on the analyze board, right? So they're able to do this stuff. And so this is kind of stuff that you can do at home with your kids to teach the chess pieces. Or you can pay me $40 for me to do this exercise, but you can teach your kids yourself this because you're smart, kids smart, and basically when they come to me, they should know how to set up the board, They should know how to move the pieces. I could teach them this stuff, but you want to save some money, that's you can do that. But I feel that the first lesson has to be a passport to success. Because ultimately that's what we do. We're here to ¿cómo se dice? We're here uh to make sure that your kid is successful, you know, and that's what we do. So, for instance, let's go through the simple game here. I do this. This guy landed on the square E and 4. So, whenever a pawn moves, we just name the letter and the number. This guy moves here. This pawn landed on the square E5. Simple, right? Let's say the bishop goes here. Boom. This is a bishop, so he starts with the B. And so you write down a B, capital B, because pieces are all of these pieces back here, right? All of these pieces, including the king, they all start with the letter, and so their symbol is the first letter, except the king and the knight. The king gets the K, and the knight, he doesn't get the K because the king got the K. So the knight gets the N. So in this case, the bishop moved from here to that square, and that square is on C and 4, right? He's on C and 4. And so we would write down bishop to C4. Does that make sense? Let's say this guy does the same thing. All right, he brings out the bishop. So we would write down capital B, and it goes to C and 5. So that would be bishop to C5. Cool? All right, let's say the queen now moves here. And this is a simple scholars made exercise, which is a must for every first or second, or at least before the third lesson. You should be able to do this with all your students. Or they need to know this information. Not that they're going to use it, but these are the basics of chess, guys. These are the basics of chess. You don't uh, uh, I guess you don't learn to fly an airplane unless you sit on the carpet first, and basic instrumentation guidelines as to how to run the instruments, or that kind of deal. There's basics that you have to do before you start doing what you need to do. So the queen is aiming at the weak square. The bishop's aiming at the weak square. Oh, the weak square. Oh, the weak square is F7, guys. Your child should go home knowing what the weak square is. The weak square is F2 in this case. The weak square is the only square that the king protects. I told my student yesterday, okay, this pawn's protected by the rook. This pawn's protected by the bishop. This pawn's protected by the queen. This pawn's protected by the knight, by the bishop, by the queen, by the king. This pawn's protected by the what did I say? This pawn's protected by the bishop. I mean, by the queen, by the king, by the bishop, and the knight. And I skipped over and I go, this pawn's protected by the rook, and this pawn's protected by the bishop. But this pawn is only protected by the king, and the king's not a good protector in the beginning. So, you start teaching kids stuff that they're smart enough to figure out. Let's say this guy does this move, right? And so we start with tactics right from the first lesson. Okay, so you want to move the queen here, but you can't because this bishop's going to get her. So what do? Create tempo. Oh boy, tempo's an advanced technique. Tempo to force your opponent to make moves he doesn't want to do. So the bishop takes, and now that gives us a fast opportunity to get rid of the protector of the piece. If he captures, then we have a very simple checkmate. Guys, the language of chess. Now, what does that do? All right. So let me go back here. I don't know if you can see this. This is the language of chess in action. And so when you have this in written form, then guess what? We can go. It's like we can do this. Watch. It's like you can do this. Oh, so that's what you play. Oh, and they played that. And you played that move. Awesome. And they did that. And wow, you make the best move there. He captured. Good job. And boy, checkmate. Hey, awesome job. You did great. You did exactly what we worked on. Boom. The kid gets excited. His ego is inflated. His self-esteem is growing. You're pushing him towards the next victory. And that's what notation does, guys, because we get to review. Sometimes they lose, and so you gotta tell them, hey, you know what? You messed up here. You missed a move here. You're moving too fast. You're overthinking, things like that. But they are able to overcome, and they are able to move in such a way that they achieve greatness, because that's where we want them. The ultimate goal is success for our kids. Does that make sense, guys? All right, super cool. All right, let me stop sharing there, and let me go. Nah, man, I kind of went back here. So let me go here, and let me go here for a little bit. Man, I'm kind of on the slow side to the on this side. Here we go. All right, so cool. So guys, what else? Uh, Let me set up another board here, and let me go through some more puzzles, and then we're gonna get into something else. All right, let me get a little bit stronger here. Let's talk about. All right, another one is. Let's talk about this one. All right. All right, so here we go. I'm gonna present the screen. Here we go, and boom. So this one here is let's see who can tell me what the best movie is without me telling you what the theme of the puzzles are. Black to move. What do you guys see here? Black to move. What do you think? Black to move. All right, let's see here. Black to move. What do we see? It is black to move. What do you see? Take your time. I didn't give you the thing because that would give you a clue. All right, so block to move. See what you can do. What do you see? What do you see? Daniel says, sacrifice the bishop. Yeah, why not? We have a battery. The battery is going in this direction, attacking the king. So let's go with it. And that is correct. The king moves over, Daniel. What do you see? What's the follow-up? What can we do as the follow-up here? What do you think? What do you think the follow-up would be here? What do you think? Remember, we're also trying to expose the king here. We want to control the squares around the king, that kind of deal. And so what do you think? What is the next move? Think about it. It wasn't a sacrifice actually because it was a free pawn. I don't know why I thought it was a sacrifice. But what's the next move here? What can we do? We wish. Well, you want to think of checkmate, guys. So checkmate would probably be on h2, right? So maybe the bishop move here, maybe the queen can land there. That would probably be a checkmate, right? Maybe. But you want to think about that. What else? What other square is weak? Well, we got this guy. Oh, right. The bishop goes check. Excellent. Because you every time it's your turn, and then Daniel says, bishop captures. And he is absolutely correct. I haven't made the move. The computer hasn't said that it's correct, but I could tell you that he's absolutely correct. Because every time it's your turn, guys, look for the unprotected piece. Does that make sense? Every time it's your turn, look for the unprotected piece. So let me write that down because that is key, guys. Always look for the unprotected piece. Does that make sense? Always look for the unprotected piece. There we go. Always look for the unprotected piece. Every time it's your turn. Every time it's your turn, look for the unprotected piece. And the unprotected piece is the white queen on what square? The square is C4. The queen on C4 is unprotected, right? So always look for the unprotected queen. So now, who can capture? Well, nobody. Nobody can capture the queen. Next question. Who's uh, aiming at it? Well, who's aiming at it is the queen. The queen's aiming at it. That's my term, aiming at it. They call it an X-ray, but I don't want to confuse X-ray with a tactic and something else. So I call it aiming. I'm aiming at the piece. I cannot capture it, but I'm aiming at it. I'm looking at it. And so, who's in the way? My bishop. So what do I do? Well, the bishop wants to move, but if the bishop moves here, let's say the bishop moves back here, the queen will just run away. So we need to do a move that freezes the queen, that doesn't allow the queen to move. And the only move that freezes the position is check. And so we simply go check. King has to capture because otherwise it would be checkmate, and we capture the queen. Of course, he captures there, and of course we can capture there. And so we're totally winning, right? And now this pawn's falling, so he can't even move here to protect because we captured the rook. We're in complete control. Plus, we have this rook coming here for the check with check and mate. So it just depends. Maybe this guy goes here. We have the rook here, check. He moves here. We have check. He moves here. We have checkmate. Very simple. Does that make sense? Very simple idea. So again, the move would not work because the queen could just capture the queen check. He goes here and you lose, right? So that wouldn't work. So you have to set up the king. So to put the king in a possibility of a check. So here's the check. He can't move anywhere. He can't capture the bishop, but he does capture the G2 pawn. And then of course you go here. And again, since you're going here, guess what? He's not going to capture your bishop. So maybe the rook moves here, right? Maybe the rook goes here. And so what do? You can move your bishop out. You have another check if you want it. As a matter of fact, yeah. You can do another check sacrificing the bishop because if he takes, guess what? There comes the rook and you got checkmate here. So he's got to go this way. You go check. He's got to go here. What do you got? You don't have check here because of this, right? So you can push the pawn, right? You can sacrifice the rook because maybe you want to go to that square. I don't know. But if you push the pawn, the bishop will take. So here you got to remember that you have to remember the tactic, right? The sandwich theory. So you turn it into a sandwich, and he either goes here or goes there. I don't know. Let's say he goes there. So if he goes there, what's the move? Then you have here, whatever the move is, and you have the checkmate. Very simple. Very simple. Does that make sense? All right, guys, let's look at another one here. All right. So what do you think here? White to move. White to move. What is the answer here, guys? Juan Pablo, I haven't heard from you. Let's see what you can say. What do you see? Isa, if you're watching. All right. And by the way, talking about notation, those of you that notate, man, you're going to become a whole lot stronger, a lot faster than those that don't. Very simple. And you could be a very strong player, but if you're not notating, you won't get to the next level. Daniel says the knight to E6. Again, look at the queen. The queen is unprotected. Who's attacking? No one. Who's aiming at it? The queen is aiming at it. So what do? We do a discover attack. And of course, we get another check, but the check doesn't really matter. What matters is that we got the queen. Does that make sense? So here we go. The queen is aiming at the queen. That's unprotected. That's unprotected. Always look for the unprotected piece. Always look for the unprotected piece. The queen is unprotected. We're aiming at it. Who's in the way? The knight's in the way. So what can the knight do? The knight creates a check. Boom. And so check freezes the position. The queen cannot move. The queen cannot move. The queen cannot move. The queen cannot move. See, the computer doesn't let me. The queen cannot move. Why? Because of the check. And so maybe, this guy develops, or better yet, he captures with the rook. Since the rook's in trouble, and of course you capture the free queen. And maybe the king moves away, and we can continue. What would be the follow-up in this case, guys? What would be the follow-up in this case? First of all, are you winning? Are you winning? So let me see. Question. Are you winning? Right? So the answer is this. If yes, then trade pieces. Then, or force exchanges. Does that make sense? So that would be the first question. Are you winning? Yes. Then trade pieces. I misspelled trade, so let me put an R there because Mr. Ray missed it, right? So there we go. Okay, la. Banner. Hold on. All right. Banner. Okay, la. Oh, okay, there. And there it is. Are you winning? Yes. Then trade pieces or force exchanges, right? And what does Daniel say? Daniel says rook A to E1. Look what he says. Rook A to E1, right? That's what Daniel says. Now, why? Let me put it back again. All right, here it is. Why rook A to E8? Why not rook to why not rook to D1, right? Why not rook to D1, right? That's what he means, really. I think he can't see the board, but he means this one, rook to D1. Why? Because both rooks can move there, and so this is part of the language of chess. When two pieces can move to the same square, you name the file or the rank, either the letter or the number where he's at, and then you continue the notation. So the move here would be rook A goes to D1, attacking. That makes sense? So yeah, that is the move. Because if this guy trades, and we're threatening to get to the 7th rank. If he goes here, what is the move here? What would be the move here? Think about this one. What do you think is the move here? Are you winning? Trade pieces. Are you winning? Trade pieces. What would be the move here? Think about it. You have an unprotected rook. You got a possible correct checkmate. What can we do? What can we do here? What do you guys think? Hmm. Do we need to put some music so that maybe for the move, guys? Oh, we have an answer. So the move is W captures. Oh, yeah. The W is close to the E, which is close to the R. Logic, geez, you chess players, you use logic, right? He's probably obviously from a tablet or maybe from a phone, right? Right? And so that's the move, right? So yeah. So the queen captures the pawn. Yeah. The queen captures the pawn, forcing the rook to move. It's a freebie, and you're attacking that square. Obviously, the knight's protecting, but you do that. Okay, say the rook moves here. Rook moves there. What's the follow-up here? Or better yet, let's say the rook moves here. He's protecting and protecting, right? What is the follow-up? Yeah. What is the follow-up here? What is the you're so good at it. Yeah, he's great, man. Daniel is a powerhouse, man. He's a little guy. He's only a third grader. He just passed to the fourth. But my students, man, they're awesome. They're awesome. Este, The Royal Knight. That's why we're the Royal Knight Success Team, because that's what the goal is. We're gonna be. They're gonna be successful adults. They're gonna be powerful, amazing, productive citizens when they grow up, man. Uh, and so, you know, it's cool, man. I've been doing this for 25 years, Clarissa, and every once in a while, I'll get calls from some of my ex students, and they'll take me to lunch, or they want to just show me where they are now in life. What kind of jobs they have, what kind of cars they're driving, where they're going. I was at Wessel last Friday night, and a student of mine comes up to me, and good looking guy, and he was with his girlfriend, and so he says, "Hey, coach, how you been? Que esto, que el otro?" And I'm sitting there, and he starts telling my friend, "Hey, man, man, this guy's awesome. He was my mentor, man. He's amazing. He's like pretty real good chess coach." And so I'm going, man, I didn't recognize him. I'm sorry, but I saw the excitement in his face, and I didn't want to stop that. So he just kept going, and I said, "Okay, man, thank you. Awesome. So what are you doing?" He said, "Hey, coach, I'm gonna get married next week, and this and that." And we kept going. Then he took off, and sat down on the table, and I was there having some conversations with some people. And then before I left, I stopped at his table, and I just said, "Hey, man, have an awesome, you know, next week. You're gonna have a very important day in your life, and you're moving to success. And I know you're a winner, man. You're gonna be successful. And you're gonna have an incredible life with your beautiful wife, man." And so, and I said, "Okay, well, good night, man. Hopefully we'll see you next week," and all of that. And so, but that happens, So my students, man, they're awesome. They're awesome, Clarissa. I mean, uh, they learn to set goals at a very early age, because that's part of my job. It ain't about chess anymore for me. It's about, how can I get this kid to be successful in life? How can I get this kid to dream about getting his PhD? How can I get this kid to learn to embrace the best he is inside of him? To bring out his best. And so, yeah. Uh, Daniel says, "Hey, thank you," or Daniel's mom says, "Thank you." Anyway, so what's the next move here, guys? What do you think? What is the next move? How do we follow up this attack here, or this advantage? We have a queen. He's got three pieces. We have two pieces, but we have better pawn structure, and which is another key to winning chess, is having a better pawn structure. So let me give you the knight advantage. Remember what I said. And you can't be afraid of this. When you're winning, are you winning? Yes. And if you're winning, then you trade pieces or force exchanges. An exchange, guys, is when a bigger piece, mainly a rook, captures a knight or captures a bishop and then loses the rook. It's an exchange. You're not trading equal forces. The idea here is just to eliminate a piece that's either powerful or a piece that's in the way. And in this case, hey, you can knock this guy out. Boom, boom, because he's got to come back here, right? He's got to come back here. Now, what can we do? Well, we continue the attack. Boom, little pawn pushes. Does that make sense? Little pawn pushes, and the knight's got to go somewhere. So the knight can't go here, can't go there, can't go there, can't go there. He would probably fall into trouble if he goes there. So more than likely, he's going to go there to protect this pawn, right? So what can we do? What can we do? Well, we wish you could go here. Well, what don't we try attacking? Why don't we try attacking? Or what else can we do? We can possibly even push the pawn. We can push the pawn a little bit. The knight's the best protector of the king, so we have no checks, right? So we can attack the rook. The rook's either going to move back or move here, right? So we can maybe try that. We can maybe try, yeah, it's about all we got, right? So why not maybe push the, I don't know, maybe let's say we try to attack. And let's say he moves here because he wants to get, somewhere a little bit more mobile, right? So what can we do here? Again, the rook's unprotected. How do we create a fork? Whenever a piece is unprotected, we try to create a fork. So what can we do here? Yeah, queen to c5, right? Queen to c5 is good. I think queen to c5 is good. Actually, queen to c5 is an excellent move because If he hides, let's say he hides here, what is the follow-up, Daniel? Since you're the one answering today, what's the follow-up here? What do you think? What would be the follow-up here? Let's see who else is joining. Hey, Mario, ¿qué tal? Good morning. Hope you're doing a great job, man, wherever you're at. I know you travel quite a bit there. Hope you're doing good, man. We missed you on Fridays for chess. I'm going to be there this afternoon. Today, guys, we have chess. And Daniel says, boom. No. Where's he say? Here. Queen to f4 and creating the fork. And of course, even if the rook blocks, we still lose it. So more than likely, this guy goes here and we get that guy. Does that make sense? Now, this wasn't forced, guys. This wasn't forced. Let's say he had gone here. Well, what's the move here? What do you think the move is? Well, maybe we can still do the same thing. We can still do the check here, except this way. And let's say he moves here. Well, so we have another fork here. And let's say the knight blocks. Oh, well, this time, maybe the rook can go here, you know. And of course, here, maybe we can go here. And maybe he blocks and we capture. We win something. Oh, and look, we're protecting the pawn. And look here, this pawn, pass pawn. We're still winning regardless. Does that make sense, guys? Do you understand? All right. So that's what it's all about, guys. That's what it's all about. All right. Let's see here. Let's go to the next puzzle. Here we go. Next puzzle. What is this one? What do you see here, guys? We're doing X-rays, or what are we doing? Yeah, I think discover attacks, right? We're doing discover attacks this morning. So what would be a good discover attack here? You have the white pieces. There's two possible moves, but only one's the best one. What do you see? Again, always look for the unprotected piece. Always look for the unprotected piece and find a way to attack it. Find a way to create an attack on it. Now, always look for the unprotected piece. And I think Daniel's giving me the bishop to d7. Yes, the queen is unprotected. The rook is unprotected. It's kind of hard to get to the rook. He's back there in the back ranks. So this pawn is unprotected. We can capture that pawn. We can also capture this guy. Why? Because this guy is delivering a check. So the knight would be free, right? The knight would be free. But better, the golden move is the bishop here to capture the queen. Does that make sense? This is the best move. So the best move is this. The bishop attacks the queen. The rook was attacking the king, and the king just moved. So next follow-up, boom, is capture. And you're winning the game now because you're up a piece. Does that make sense? And then from there, obviously, you're attacking here, so the king has to stay there. The knight really has no moves because everywhere he goes, the bishop's controlling the knight. The bishop here, he's got a little bit of movement, but not that much. So yeah, does that make sense? So that's where that is. Cool. Good job. Good job on that one, Daniel. All right. I guess somebody went shopping or something because they're not in. All right. So what's the move here, guys? What do you think here? Hey, who else is here? Okay, I see. Cool. Oh, orale. So I think something happened to my. All right. I wait. Okay. All right. Hold on. I'm trying to go back to my profile page to go there. I don't know. Facebook's acting kind of funny when you're looking at videos now. All right. So what do you think in this position? What is the move here? What do you think? There we go. What do you think the move is here? You have the white pieces. The bishop's aiming. I mean, the queen. The queen is unprotected, by the way. The bishop's unprotected. What can we do here? Oh, is that you saying? Let's see. D captures again. E captures. Right. Slow down, buddy. So this is a check, right? This is a check. The rook captures, and obviously the rook is now left unprotected. So queen captures, and we're creating that. If he goes here, that's his best move, right? What can we do here? What is the follow up here? What do you think here? You have two moves that you can do, possibly three. No, but one's the best one. All right. What can we do here? What do you think here? Hmm? There you go. Cool, cool, cool. What do you think is the move here? Huh? Huh? What do you think? Alrighty. So remember, this is Test Tong with Coach Ray. All right. So what's the move? I would say probably you just capture, right? Because he has to capture, right? And you can bring. I mean, you can't go here because the queen just takes, the queen takes, and knight takes. So you have another. You don't have a check here because knight takes. You can possibly even bring the rook here, creating an attack. Because the and that's the move. No, you can't because of this, right? So maybe and you can't capture the pawn, and you can't go here. So what's the move here? No, what's the move? What do you think? Is that not the best move, Daniel? Daniel doesn't agree with that move. What do you think? What do you think here? So we don't have check. We cannot capture. Um, what's the move? We could go. We cannot go here because of this, right? We can go here though, right? We can go there to attack. We have possible knight moves, right? Possible knight moves. So what do you think? What do you think the move is? I think this is probably the move here, right? Um, he can block. He can block. Um, I don't know. Let's say he challenge, or let's say he goes check. Then we just simply move. When you're in check, guys, by the way, when you're in check, for some of you beginners, and maybe some of you that don't know this, every time you're in check, the first thing you want to do is you want to find a way to capture the queen. Find a way to capture the queen. Find a way to capture the attacker. If you can't do that, a lot of times you guys are taught to block. Block is not the answer, guys. Once the king has moved, the best thing you can do is just move the king to a safe square. And not just move the king out of the way. We never move the king out of check. We move the king to a safe square. Sometimes in moving the king out of the way, you actually move it to a worse square, and then you get checkmated. So always move the king to a safe square. And so that goes here. Let's say this guy captures. He's going after this. And so do we capture with the rook or do we capture with the queen? What do you think? What would you do, Daniel? Would you capture with the rook or would you capture with the queen? I think capture with the queen, right? Because she's got to go here. And then, of course, here we can just move the knight. Boom. And we're attacking here and we're attacking there. And so he's got to protect. Yeah. Maybe he protects here. What is the move here? What do you think the move would be here? Oh, I wish the knight would be here and you could sacrifice and then knight takes and then you have that and that. But that's not the case. So you always want to go back, right? So, oh, Daniel says go back. Okay, let me see. Okay, Daniel, tell me when to stop. To the rook. All right. Is that where you want me to go? The rook. Oh, there. Is that the position that you're looking at, Daniel? Is that what you were thinking? Interactive, huh? What do you think? Night, night, nine, 90. Slow down, Daniel. You type the nine. Uh, The 9 would be on the keyboard would be what? An 8 or I don't know. Yes. Okay. So what is the move here? What is the move here now? What do you think? What is your move? You're trying to do check, right? Maybe. Is that what you were thinking about? Maybe going check? Yeah, rook captures D. Yeah, but if rook captures D, Daniel, okay, if rook captures here, he doesn't have check. All right. But he's got queen. He takes queen, and he's okay, I guess. No, no. All right. So what's the move then? You say, or do you mean queen captures? Queen captures is good too, right? Because now queen has check. He moves here, and he can capture. Uh, I don't know. Maybe he could block. And I mean, you have check here, or you can capture. Um, I don't know. Maybe just move the knight. Maybe just move the knight to get rid of that guy. Does that make sense? I don't know. It gets complicated, Daniel. After that, I think the other line was a lot easier. So obviously we capture. He blocks, right? I think immediately just take care of business is fine. But I don't mind that because that does win. I guess that does win a piece here. And yeah, your 4 pieces. What was my line? What was my line? My line was here, right? He captures. Yeah, yeah, because that's even. Yeah, you're right. That's even. Well, no, I went here and we still win. But he's got this, right? He's got that. And then, of course, here we can capture and he captures and we don't have pin. We have to go here. Something like that. Yeah, yeah, yeah. I have to go, but have a great. Hey, Clarissa. Hey, have an awesome, awesome, awesome Friday. All right, go eat some fish or something. Go to Carolina's, man. They have a great fish and shrimp uh buffet for 11.99. All you can eat. So cool. That's where I'm going for lunch. Yeah. I think. Uh, what do we say? Here, there, check here, capture. Yeah, yeah, yeah. I think the better move, Daniel, is just capture. I think that's the better move because he's got to capture. No, no, no. Wait a minute. Wait a minute. No, no. I'm wrong. I'm wrong. I'm wrong. I'm wrong. All right. So he moves. All right. What's the move here? He moves. He captures. We capture. He blocks. Yeah, I think this is the move. You're right. I think this is the move. Yeah, I don't know. They're both okay. They're both okay. I guess here we could just. Well, it's his turn. He's got a block, right? He's got a block, and then we got here. I mean, we're up a piece, but I don't know if we have an attack. That's the problem. But I kind of like the fact that we're up a piece. Of course, he's got to capture, and of course we can capture, and the pawn has to capture. Well, there we go. We're even losing the pawn structure on that one. We have a check here. He's got to move. Hey, he will move there. Well, look, maybe, maybe we get something here. Again, we have this, and he's got to maybe move there, and then we have this, or yeah, we have this, and we're attacking, right? Or we have check. Yeah, we have check because if he blocks, then we have this, and he might block, and if he blocks, well, we just capture, or we don't have any more checks, right? So maybe we capture, he captures, and we have another check maybe from up there to go up here. And if he goes down, plus there's the check, and there's the check, and he goes here, and there's the check, and hey, we got him in checkmate. So there's possibilities. There's possibilities, right? Yeah, you think your mine's better? I don't know. Yours is okay too. The thing is to gain advantage and to start attacking and keep it. Does that make sense, Daniel? So good job. And that's the thing. I teach my students to not just take the moves, but to think for themselves and to create. More importantly, to create, guys. So, guys, let's see. Let me leave it with that. Hold on. Let me remove, guys. Let me go back here and let me go into this, guys. You have a wonderful weekend, guys. We see you next week, guys. We have, of course. Hold on. Yeah. What do we have next week here? No, we don't have that. We do have that, but next week, guys, we have the another chess camp, 3 days, Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday from July the 1st to July the 4th from 9 a.m. to 12 p.m. It's only $75, guys. Again, I'm having a price at a low price because I want students to be there all summer versus one big price where you could probably go even once or maybe even twice. But I'd rather you be there all 8 weeks of summer, and it still doesn't hurt your pocket that much. Again, we're the Brownsville Royal Knights, guys. ¿Cómo te diré? Let me, okay, I'm always all about creating some. Let's put some music in the background. It's about success, man. It's about increasing your chess rating. I want your child to win more matches and actually to learn the art of success, which I teach. And of course, the idea is chess equals success. Guys, it's definitely championship chess training. Come join the Royal Knights tradition. We were for 25 years. We've been winning. We've been winning for 25 years. We've been winning, guys. Today, Friday, Friday from 5 to about 7:30. We're gonna be at the mall. Friendly chess matches. Those of you that join, it's a little slower in the summer, but we might get some students to come in, or maybe some adults to come in as well. Again, this is a good one, guys. If you want to study with your friends, get 2 other friends and yourself, and you got $75 for 1 hour. This is for students that are closely rated, and so we find that this system works. And again, guys, if you're interested in chess lessons, here we are. One student $40, 2 students for 60, and 3 students for 75. These are all students working together, and it's 1 hour, but 1-to-1 40, guys. So again, it's all about success, guys. It's all about success. The idea is for you guys to be to have the idea. And remember, that's the whole idea, guys. Chess makes you smarter. So we have a comment here and says, oh, in the duration you had checkmate. Oh, okay. I'm sorry, I missed it. My dyslexia. So, guys, we will see you. Have a great evening, and los vemos, guys. Bye bye.